Good day, class. Today we are going to discuss about nationalism and patriotism, all the things that symbolizes these two core values. Okay. Now we are not going to jump directly to the definition and the similarities and dissimilarities of these two core values, but mohapit sa mga bagay nga part na sa ato ang history and daging part na rin siya sa ato ang culture or sa ato ang norms as a Filipino, okay? Mga things that na nag-symbolize sa pagiging nationalistic and patriotic na natong mga Pilipino, okay? So now we are going to discuss it or mention it one by one. So the picture shows our national flag or the national flag of the Philippines. It consists of several colors too. There is royal blue, the crimson red, the white, and the golden yellow. It was designed by Emilio Aguinaldo. So ang nag-design na ani is si Emilio Aguinaldo. Siya ang first or kauna-unahang naging presidente sa Pilipinas. And he is also the youngest president of the Philippines. Okay? Na naitala sa atong history. So, gidesign siya ni Emilio Aguinaldo not just because gusto niya nga inani ang iyang itsura, but naa siya mga kanya-kanyang meaning. Ang per color sa parts atong flag na siya kanya-kanyang meaning, okay? So, i-discuss nato na siya isa-isa. So, let's proceed to symbolism. The rectangular design that consists of a white equilateral triangle symbolizing liberty, equality, and fraternity. Liberty meaning ato ang liberty, the right to live, the right to suffrage meaning the right to vote, the right to be educated, the right to have shelter, and many more. Mga katungod na to isip citizen of the country. Equality, pagkakapantay-pantay, and fraternity, pag-inig suunay nato, rather. The brotherhood, okay? Second one is the horizontal blue stripe for peace, truth, and justice. So, ang blue stripe sa ato ang flag ay nag-symbolize siya as peace, truth, and justice. And the horizontal red stripe for patriotism and valor. Pag may nga valor, kaisog, okay? Ang pagiging matapang ng mga tao or ang pagiging matapang ng mga Pilipino. Natural sa ato ang pagiging palaban. Natural sa ato ang isog, okay? Samot nagkabalutan nga naata sa ato ang right, we have we know that we are correct or we stand to what is right or righteous. So, i-fight yun nato na siya. So, mao na ang natural sa ato ang mga Pinoy. So, in the center of the white triangle is an 8-rayed golden sun symbolizing unity, freedom, people's democracy, and sovereignty. So, ang 8-rayed sun, nag-symbolize siya sa ato ang pakikipag-isa, ang ato ang kalayaan, ug ang demokrasya nato. Okay? And each ray represents a province with significant involvement in the 1896 Philippine Revolution against Spain. These provinces are Manila, Bulacan, Cavite, Pampanga, Morong, or in modern-day province of Rizal, Laguna, Batangas, and Nueva Ecija. However, according to the Declaration of Independence and a research by Ateneo de Manila University, Professor Ambeth Ocampo, the rays of the sun symbolized the first 8 provinces of the Philippines which was declared under martial law during the Philippine Revolution. So, katong una na akong kining second part sa kining nakabutang nga check, mao ni siya ang nakabutang mismo sa atong history, okay, or sa atong history books. But according to the recent or mas latest nga historian, si Professor Ambeth Ocampo, nga dili daw na mao, and according to his or to her interpretation, nga ang 8th rays sa sun daw is nagstand sa mga provinces nga first gideclare ang martial law during Philippine Revolution. Meaning dili daw katong mga provinces nga nagstand against sa Spain, okay? Or nagstood against Spanish rule or Spanish government. Kini daw 8 provinces nga iyang i-mention karon is or ang akong i-mention karon is mo daw ning mga provinces nga first gi-declare martial law under Philippine Revolution. So naay Batangas, Bulacan, Cavite, Manila, Laguna, Nueva Ecija, Pampanga, and Tarlac. So I am not going to dwell more about the similarities and dissimilarities of the two because it is already part of the history. Okay, the first one that I mentioned is already part of the history. Kung unsa gitulo sa ato during elementary days, high school days, and even sa atong history or sa Rizal nga subject nato during college or sa inyo karon. And kining bag-o gi-introduce lang ako sa inyo ha, just for you to know and for you to be informed nga ang mga recent historians is na ay mga bag-ong interpretation, okay? And the 3 5-pointed stars, one at each of the triangle's points, stand for the 3 major island groups, naming Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So kabalo naman ta ana, di ba? Daan nga ang meaning anang 3 star is Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, for short Luz Viminda. So the symbolism given in the 1898 Proclamation of Philippine Independence differs from the current official explanation. According to the document, the white triangle signifies the emblem of the Katipunan, the secret society that opposed Spanish rule. I think you are all familiar with the Katipunan, right? The KKK, na ang kuasa nabuo tong mga Pinoy nga nagising sa katotohanan kung ano talaga ang totoong nangyayari sa ating bansa and kung ano ang dapat na mangyari sa ating bansa at kung sino ang dapat na humawak at mamuno sa ating bansa. So, ang Katipunan or ang KKK is a group or a society that is made secretly to oppose the Spanish government. So, sila yung mga tao or yung grupo na nakipaglaban para makamit natin ang kalayaan or ang Philippine independence nga until now, ini-enjoy pa rin nating mga Pilipino. It says that flag's colors commemorate the flag of the United States as the manifestation of gratitude for American aid against the Spanish during the Philippine Revolution. So as you can observe, ang Philippine flag and the American flag is somehow similar sa mga colors nila, right? So base sa text nga gituyo daw ni pagpili sa mga colors sa ato ang flag just to give thanks, give gratitude to the Americans tungod sa ilahang pagtabang sa atua to stood against or to fight the Spaniards, okay? Para makamit natin ang kalayaan na inaasam ng mga Pilipino, the one that we are still enjoying right now. It also says that one of the 3 stars represents the island of Panay, rather than the entire Visayan island. Panay, which recent interpretations call as representative of the entire Visayas region. The proclamation also declares that the sun represents the gigantic steps made by the sons of the country, which is the Filipinos, along with the path of progress and civilization, and lists Bataan instead of Tarlac among the 8 provinces symbolized by the sun's rays. So I am not going to explain this further because I am just refreshing your minds, refreshing your brain cells sa mga bagay na na-discuss and na-tackle na natin or ng mga teacher ninyo during high school and elementary days. So I am just refreshing your minds para at least ma-relate nato hinahinay ang ato ang subject o ang history o unsa ang mga bagay nga gimugna or gina-implement karon to preserve and to still exercise and practice nationalism and patriotism. So there are different proposals for changes to the Philippine flag. So the first one is the Philippine flag with the proposed 9 rays. Okay? So as you can observe, the first one, kapras lang siya og design sa ato ang flag nga ginagamit karon, the one that Emilio Aguinaldo design. Okay? But if you take a closer look, ang rays ng sun is instead of having 8 rays, gihimo siyang 9 rays. And the second one is Osorio's proposal nga naging rectangle ang lahat ng mga parts sa ato ang flag, and there is an additional star nga sa each corner sa rectangle. And the third one is proposed by the former President Fidel V. Ramos nga ay gidagdagan niya og I think that is the crescent moon. And the fourth one or the last proposal is was proposed by the former President Fidel V. Ramos nga ang triangle sa ato ang flag is instead nga nasa kilid gibutang niya nga nasa tunga along with the star, sun and the moon. So the display. The flag should be displayed in all government buildings, official residences, public plazas, and schools in every day throughout the year. All other places as may be designated by the National Historical Commission as such. The days of May 28, National Flag Day, and June 12, Independence Day are designated as Flag Days, during which all offices, agencies, and instrumentalities of government, business establishments, institutions of learning, and private homes are enjoined to display the flag. But in recent years, the flag days are now from May 28 to June 3 yearly to promote patriotism and to celebrate the nation's independence. So, dati, instead of having 2 separate holidays to celebrate the National Flag Day and the Independence Day, ginawa ng ating government, ginawa ng paraan nating government to celebrate it longer, okay? So, instead of having 2 separate holidays, ginawa niyang almost or it seems like naging month-long celebration siya from May 28 to June 30. Yearly na siya gina-celebrate, okay? That is the time nga mapapansin ninyo kahit saan kayo pumunta, sa mga jeepneys, sa taxis, private vehicles, offices, na kayo makita nga mga stickers, miniature flags, mga bisan unsa pa just to commemorate the National Flag Day or to celebrate the Independence Day sa ato ang nasod, okay? And also to promote patriotism para mas ma-enjoy nato, mas ma-practice pa nato ang pagiging patriotic nato and mas ma-express nato longer ang love and support nato sa ato ang country. So by law, the Philippine flag must be permanently hoisted and illuminated at night at the following locations. When we say hoisted, meaning itaas, na gibutang siya sa itaas, okay? And illuminated, gihayagan, inig gabi to show to the public that bisan pag gabi bisan pag ngit-ngit, naa gihapon diha ang ato ang flag, okay? And it also gives an explanation that Even if ngit-ngit ang sa pagkakaron, ngit-ngit ang Pilipinas karon, meaning na ay mga problema nga ginaatubang ang Pilipinas karon, but at the end of the day, or at the end of the journey, hayag gyapon ang kaugmaon sa ato ang bansa. Murag inana pud ba kahit papaano ang meaning nganong gina-illuminate siya at night, not just for the public nga makita nga na ang flag diha sa flagpole. So what are the following locations? So mao ni ang mga locations niya. Malacañang Palace, the official residence of the President of the Philippines, Senate of the Philippines Building, House of Representatives Building or ang Batasang Pambansa, Supreme Court Building, Rizal Monument in Luneta, Manila, Aguinaldo Shrine in Kawit, Cavite, Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, Mausoleo de los Veteranos de la Revolucion, all international ports of entry, mga terminal, mga ports sa barko, sa cargo ships, tanan mga ports of entry na dapat na adjud ang ato ang Philippine flag, and all other places as may be designated by the National Historical Commission of the Philippines. So half-mast. Familiar na mo sa half-mast? If wala pa, mao ni ang meaning sa half-mast, okay? Half-mast. The flag may be flown at half-mast as a sign of mourning. Upon the official announcement of the death of the President or the former President, the flag should be flown at half-mast for 10 days. The flag should be flown at half-mast for 7 days following the death of the Vice President, the Chief Justice, the President of the Senate, or the Speaker of the House of Representatives. So, pag kini sila ang mamatay, if ever lang, okay, naka-half-mast ang flag nato for straight 7 days. But if ang leader sa bansa nato, the President or the former President ang mamatay, if ever, naka-half-mast ang atong flag for straight 10 days. The flag may also be required to fly at half-mast upon the death of other persons to be determined by the National Historical Institute for a period less than 7 days. The flag shall be flown at half-mast on all the buildings and places where the decedent was holding office. On the day of death until the day of interment, meaning sa adlaw sa pagkamatay niya hantod nga ilubong siya. Of an incumbent member of the Supreme Court, the Cabinet, the Senate, or the House of Representatives, and such other persons as may be determined by the National Historical Commission. When flown at half-mast, the flag should be first hoisted to the peak for a moment, then lowered to the half-mast position. It should be raised to the peak again before it is lowered for the day. For example, ato ang school, for example, na ay mamatay nga meaning na ay position sa school. For example, then mag half-mast position ang ato ang flag. Di ba, kabalo man ta nga naga-flag ceremony every Monday morning and naga-flag retreat every Friday afternoon. For example, mag-flag ceremony tapos i-apply na to ang half-mast position. During the singing of the national anthem, i-hoist siya or bining itaas sa ang flag, ipasaka sa ang flag nato sa peak. Then, before the song ends or before the national anthem ends, inahinay na siya lower sa hantod maabot na siya sa iyang position, which is the halfway lang, meaning katunga lang sa flagpole, diha na siya iyang position. And inig Friday, di ba, naaman na ang flag ya throughout the week, and by the end of the week, meaning on Friday, mag-flag retreat man, then before na siya tanggalon or before na siya totally ibaba jud ang flag para tanggalon o hipuson na pod, when singing again the national anthem, isaka sa na siya balik sa taas, then ibaba na po na siya totally para hipuson na siya. A bill was filed on 2014 to mandate the flying of the flag at half-mast as a tribute to public school teachers. Because we all know nga ang mga bagong bayani ng ating bansa is not just the OFW but also the teachers, di ba? The teachers extend their efforts, di ba? They went out of their comfort zone for them to teach children, for them to teach the young ones. Inana sila ka-passionate sa ilang trabaho. Inana sila ka-passionate sa ilang career, sa ilang profession. So, mo nang gideklara sila nga as mga bagong bayani. So, if ever nga naay mamatay nga teacher, kung asa siya na-assign, or asa siya nag-report, dito po ikandak ang half-mast. Okay? So, under the proposal, the flag shall be flown at half-mast for at least 5 days at the school or district office the deceased teacher was assigned. So, just like what I said earlier, kung asa siya na-assign or kung asa siya naga-duty, dito po ikandak ang half-mast. Now, in wakes and burials, the flag may also be used to cover the casket of the dead of the military and civil uniformed services, veterans of previous wars, national artists, and outstanding civilians as determined by the local government. In such cases, the flag must be placed such that the white triangle is at the end and the blue portion covers the right side of the casket. The flag should not be lowered to the grave or allowed to touch the ground, but should be solemnly folded and handed to the heirs of the deceased. So, when putting the flag sa casket, dapat ang triangle, for example, kung closed casket siya, meaning ang tibuok casket niya, tibok lungon niya is naka-close, ang white triangle dapat nakabutang na siya sa head or sa kung asa na situate ang head sa deceased. And dapat nakabutang ang blue portion sa flag, dapat na siya sa right side sa casket. Meaning kung unsa tong makita sa public nga side sa casket, dito ibutang or dito i-plaster ang blue part sa field. And when it is time to bury the deceased uniformed personnel, the flag should not be lowered to the grave. Dili siya dapat iuban og lubong. Instead, before lowering the casket, kuhaon na siya sa service, i-fold na siya specific folding sa flag, tapos i-turn over na siya or i-hand over na siya sa heir or sa asawa sa deceased person as a symbol of commemoration sa iyahang services nga gi-render during sa iyahang pag-duty as a military or a civil uniformed officer. Now, as a war ensign, the Philippines does not utilize a separate flag. Unlike the other countries, if they are under the state of war, they use a separate flag to announce or to pronounce that they are under the state of war. But our flag is unique and therefore we are not using a separate flag to use as a war flag. Instead, the national flag itself is used for this purpose. How? To indicate a state of war, the red field is flown upwards and is placed on the right when hung vertically. Kabalo naman mo ana, di ba? Nga if ever nga sabit ninyo sa flag or inigsabit sa flag dito sa flagpole tapos mabaliktad siya, di ba ang inyo hadang first impression ana is oy unsa di ay gira kay tungod bali ang red field sa flag is nano noon sa ibabaw instead of the blue color. So mao nang itsura sa flag when we are under the state of war. And in times of peace, however, the blue area is the superior field. Kung unsa ang itsura sa ato ang flag karon, kung unsa ang atong ginagamit usually, kung unsay position sa atong flag usually, mao na siya. The red side up orientation of the flag was used by the first Philippine Republic during the Philippine-American War from 1898 to 1901. Okay, so kining akong ipang mention karon, these are the battles or the mga gera, mga war nga naitala or na-record sa atong history nga gigamit ang atong flag as a war ensign. Okay? The first one is during the Philippine-American War. The second one is the Philippine Commonwealth during the Second World War. By the Japanese-sponsored Philippine Republic when it declared war against the United Kingdom and the United States. By soldiers and civilians during the attempted coup d'etat against President Corazon Aquino's administration, and by militants and rallies during EDSA 3. So, 5 na siya ka-events nga na-record sa atong history nga gigamit ang ato ang flag as a war in sign. So, meaning, kalima pod nahitabo nga gibali ang ato ang flag. Okay, gibali og gamit atong flag. The only instance in which the flag was not oriented with red as superior in the state of war was it at its debut during the Battle of Alapan in 1898, 15 days before the Philippine Declaration of Independence in Cavite. So this is the only time or war nga wala gigamit atong flag because wala pa na-officiate ang atong flag as flag of the Philippines or wala pa giila nga ang flag nga gibuhat or gidesign ni Emilio Aguinaldo is gamito nato as ato ang national flag because nahitabo ang Battle of Alapan 15 days before nahitabo or gideclare ang independence sa Pilipinas dito sa Kawit, Cavite. Kung asa first giwagayway atong flag together with the singing of our national anthem. And pledge. The Pledge of Allegiance to the Philippine flag, distinct from the Patriotic Oath of Allegiance, should be recited while standing with the right hand with palm open, raised shoulder high. So, ang kasagaran nga ginabuhat ninyo, di ba, kung magpanatang makabayan mo, is nakadikit lang ang inyong shoulder diri sa torso ninyo, nakaana lang, tapos halos nakadikit ang inyong thumb diri sa inyong shoulder. No, the proper way to recite the pledge or the panatang makabayan is standing in attention with the right hand with palm open, waist, shoulder high. So, dapat ang imong shoulder, imong elbow nakatupong sa imong shoulder. Tapos, dapat medyo nakataas siya gamay. Ang imong palm or ang tip sa imong finger is nakataas siya gamay or mas taas siya gamay sa imong ulo. Dapat inana na siya and naka-stand in attention mo. Okay? Dapat magtupong na siya. Okay? Dili na siya ana. Instead, you must be proud nga naga-pledge ka o nagapanumpa ka sa imong country. Okay? Naga-pledge ka sa imong loyalty and support sa imong country. Individuals whose faith or religious beliefs prohibit them from making such pledge are permitted to excuse themselves, but are required by law to show full respect when the pledge is being rendered by standing at attention. So, may mga religion or mga group of people or mga communities nga dili pwede sila manumpa sa flag. Giila na siya sa ato ang balaod, giila na siya sa atong batas. But they must show respect sa atong country by what? By standing in attention or by standing at attention. Bahala dili sila manumpa, but they must pay respect sa ato ang country, isip Pilipino or isip as a citizen of the country by standing at attention. Then the law makes no statement regarding the language in the pledge must be recited, but the pledge is written in the Filipino language. So therefore, gamito na to siya or i-recite na to siya in Filipino language. The flag anthem or the national anthem. Spanish, Tagalog, and English versions of the national anthem has been given official status throughout Philippine history. However, only the most recent and current Filipino version is officially recognized by law. The Flag and Heraldic Code, approved on February 12, 1998, specifies lupang hinirang, the national anthem shall always be sung in the national language within or without the country. Violation of the law is punishable by a fine and imprisonment. So, wherever you are, whether you are inside the country or outside the country, regardless of what country you are in, kung bisan asa pa ka sa nasod nagpuyo, bisan pag dito na ka nagpuyo, whenever you're going to sing the national anthem, you must sing it in our national language, which is the Filipino. Okay, question? Why did we include the national flag to our discussion? Of course, just like what I said earlier before the discussion start, our subject is nationalism and patriotism. And the national flag is one of the best example nga naging symbol siya or naging simbolo siya sa nationalism and patriotism ng mga tao or ng mga Pilipino. And what is the relevance of this discussion to our subject? Of course, just like what my answer sa item number 1, ato ang title man gud sa ato ang subject is nationalism and patriotism. And mao ni siya ang relevance niya because sole focus tato sa ato ang discussion or sa atong subject is ang two core values sa pagiging Pilipino, which is natural sa ato ang pagiging nationalistic and natural pud sa ato ang pagiging patriotic. So mao ni ang relevance niya. Okay, I think that's all for now. I hope nga naamoy na learn. Actually, these topics are just a refresher for you, for you to be able to be ready para sa mga topics nga ato ang itackle in the future. And I hope you're going to share this video for your other classmates nga wala pa naka-appeal sa Google Meet or dili permente maka-appeal sa Google Meet discussion nato because they have internet problem connection. I hope na amoy natun-an karon, and that's all for now. Please subscribe for you to be updated para sa akong mga further nga mga posting related sa ato ang subject. Bye!